here with Years of Years and Brad too, and it's this day in Disney for November 2nd, and today we're talking about an awesome film that came out in 2001.
One of the best.
One of the best. Monsters Incorporated, Disney's animated feature featuring the voices of John Goodman and Billy Crystal.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we love this film. We took our three oldest to see this, and
honestly, it was our third child's first movie that we went to.
Kamora's first real, it was her first movie.
And as it was released to DVD, it was like a favorite in our home, and she was our little Boo. She looked like Boo. We used to put the little pigtails in her head, and
just like it.
It was Boo.
Yep, she was fully our little Boo. And adorable. This was a great film. We loved it, and right off the bat, I think we were enamored by it.
I think it's the music too.
Oh yes, yeah.
And the visuals that are kind of timeless, but you know, 50s, 60s, like kind of animation in the opening, like sequences with the music and the jazz, just
so fun.
Right away.
Yeah, and the concept is just great. The whole story arc and everything, just wonderful.
Who isn't afraid of the monsters in your closet and bed?
But then
everyone knows they're there.
Cute little girl just not be afraid and become friends with Sully and Mike and really attached to Sully. It's just so great. So well done.
How quickly the humanity of those two monsters shines through.
Yep, and of course this was directed by Pete Docter, so you know, he really shined with this and showed that he's just great at working with relationships in animation and just warming our hearts. So the production is a collaboration of Walt Disney Studios and Pixar. So like I said, it was Pete Docter's directional debut. It was the first time he directed a film.
Who is now head of Pixar. So, I mean, that's why it's so important. Yeah,
and it's the first time John Lasseter took an executive producer position for a Pixar film. He had been the director, really, for the films previously. So, for the film's technical team, animators found new ways to redefine and clothe realistically for the film. And I think that really comes through, especially when you're working with the animal fur.
That was the big hype.
Oh, yeah.
That was the big hype.
They did so great.
They were hyping that for months before. I remember reading a full article in Wired magazine about the fur. Yeah.
It was so impressive for the time, in particular, 2001. And then the idea for Monsters, Inc. came over 1994 luncheon, or just they were sitting around for lunch like they did, with John Lasseter, Pete Docter, Andrew Stanton, and Joe Ranft. And when we were making Toy Story, everybody came up to me and said, "Hey, I totally believe that my toys came to life when I left the room." This is Pete Docter speaking. He said, "I knew monsters were coming out of my closets when I was a kid." So I said, "Hey, let's do a film about monsters."
Total natural.
But interestingly enough, you know, the storyline actually took on some different forms, like a big form over the 5-year production time. One of Docter's original ideas was to have a 30-year-old man who was dealing with monsters that he had drawn as a child who were coming back to bother him as an adult, and he needed to conquer his fears so that they would disappear. So, you know, interesting.
I think they went the right approach.
Yeah, I think they did, but it's still an interesting concept for sure. Animator Joe Grant, whose work went back to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, suggested Monsters, Inc. was the title. He suggested that title as a play on the title for the gangster film Murder Incorporated. Or Murder Inc., basically, which it stuck. So even though iterations of the film, they knew it was going to be called Monsters, Inc. They loved it, and it works. So that was awesome.
That's interesting, because there is a mob element I wasn't thinking about with like the Mr. Oh man, his name's not coming to me, but the giant lobster, the crab dude.
Yeah.
You know, he is kind of a
having
mob
them
boss
collect
aspect.
beer and stuff. I mean,
I
the whole concept is like, it's cool that it changes to collecting laughs.
Mr. Waternoose. I think he's what, yeah.
Waternoose or Waterhouse?
Waterhouse, something like
Okay. Someone tell us in the comments.
Yeah.
But so the 30-year-old was scrapped, and then it became a story between a monster and a child, and more changes and ideas came as they created the movie and that we know and love now. So like I said, it was a 5-year process. They actually were considering Bill Murray to be Sully.
Would have been good. I mean, I was going to kind of say that. It's interesting because John Goodman, obviously, huge from Roseanne, huge from a number of films like The Big Lebowski and stuff like that. But he wasn't. At any rate, yeah, he was. But he had kind of become almost an art film serious like actor at that time, I believe. And so to bring him back into like children and family, that's so awesome. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah. Well, Bill Murray wasn't quite right, but P.
You're
Doctor.
a big Bill Murray fan. So.
I am, but P. Doctor said that, you know, with the character of Sully, that John Goodman just fit the voice, and he does. Like, if you think about it, I can't imagine another person being Sully. You know, I just hear that voice. You know. Yeah. So, Monsters Incorporated was praised by critics and proved to be a major box office success. So it was like top grossing.
Yeah, I don't think everybody celebrated it.
Yeah,
it
2001, it was one of the top 3. It got an Academy Award for the song If I Didn't Have You. Great song.
Which is really the song in the credits.
Yeah.
Which is so funny.
I hate to kind of end this subject on a down, so we'll talk a little bit more about our kids, but it was nominated for Best Animated Feature, but guess what? It lost to Shrek.
Oh.
So, man.
Katzenberger.
Yeah, there you go. So the prequel, of course, if you didn't realize that there's a prequel, there is. It's Monsters University.
Right. Which is fun.
And we got to take
Was
our
there a sequel to Monsters Incorporated? Is there a Monsters Incorporated 2? Or is that Monsters University?
Which is Monsters University.
Crazy.
That's it. And so, you know, we went with all our kids to Monsters University, and Miles wasn't born, obviously. He was born much later.
But this movie is just as much the DVD. What a cherished DVD.
Oh, that was a well-worn DVD in our house.
A lot of light passed through those discs. So.
Oh yeah, DVD, actually, we own this on VHS. Come on now.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, first, and then we got the DVD.
Yeah, it would have been one of the last VHSs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what were great times. Oh, I love that.
Monsters
2001,
Inc.
I love that time period too. So fun. Go watch Monsters Inc. again. And yeah, that's it for this day in Disney. We hope you guys have fun.
Happy birthday, Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.